my name is Janae, and I'm going to share with you my adoption story. So, first, this little guy here, is Bo, and he was adopted. I adopted him. I actually rescued him. So, I will tell you how that went. I'd been in China at that point for a few months. I want to say maybe like 3 months. I'd got there at the end of August. And so this was in December. So it's about 3.5 months. Anyway, so this was December 10th that I found Bo. And he was actually in a litter of 8 puppies. Didn't know that it was 8 at the time. It was the coldest day in Beijing. And I had just gone grocery shopping. And when I got back, I could hear the wailing. And at first I thought they were kittens because it was just like so loud and screechy. And the guard was like, there are dogs here. And I was like, dogs? So I go over and see. And at the time, I only saw like 3 puppies. And the mother had to have been laying on top of the rest to try to keep them warm. And so the guards had given her food, but she wasn't eating. And she wasn't producing any milk. So that's why they were screaming. They were hungry and they were really cold. Again, coldest day of the year in Beijing. And so myself and 2 other ladies, Alyssa and Andrea, and a guy named Jesse, we got boxes and we put them in the boxes, and we took them to my apartment across the street. At that point, I was still living on campus, but I'd gotten the apartment. And I was just slowly, moving my things over. And but having the babies forced me to completely move in. Anyway, so we got the babies and we tried to rescue the mother, but she just would not come. Like she just kept running away from us, and we tried to get her for I think 2 days, and she just wouldn't let us rescue her. But we did end up saving the babies. So we get them to my house, and then we go to the vet. And we got everything that we needed. The puppy formula, the milk, you just add water, shake it up, put it in a bottle, and you feed the babies. And they had to be fed every 2 hours, which was rough. Okay, it was so rough that first night, because the first night I was by myself, and not only do you have to feed them, the neonates, but you have to burp them as well. Like human babies, you have to burp them, and then not only do you have to burp them, but you have to stimulate them to void themselves. So you got to get them to pee and poop. And I was doing this with 8 puppies for every 2 hours. It was rough on me. Okay, but thankfully, Alyssa and another lady named Jennifer helped out. So we were like a well-oiled machine. Like they would go throughout the day every 2 hours to go in and feed them and stimulate them. And then I had the nighttime duty. So I was able to sleep during the day while they did that because I knew I had to be up at night. Mind you, I was still working full-time at the time as well. So it was a lot. And then a lovely lady named Lee, she actually took 2. So, and, she took over the duty. So then that took me down to 6, which, listen, every little bit helps. I was so grateful that she had those 2, and she ended up finding homes for them. And then we had in total 6 girls and 2 boys. So Lee found homes eventually for her 2. And then I found homes for the other 4 girls. And then I kept the 2 boys. And unfortunately, as is known to happen, one of the little boys died. So then it was just Bo and I, and we have been inseparable ever since. He's my little snuggly wuggly baby, and he's basically like a little duckling that imprinted on me because as I was there when he opened his eyes. And he follows me around like a little duckling. Like if I go from my bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen, wherever I'm at, Bo is right there. And I have to watch my step because sometimes I forget that he follows me, and I've accidentally kicked him and stepped on him sometimes. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry, Bo, I didn't mean to do it. So now I look around, I'm like, Bo, where you at? And then I can, know how to move. He's just plopped down now, so he's tired. But anyway, so I had been wanting to get another pet because Bo gets separation anxiety because, again, I'm the only human contact. I'm the only contact he has with another living thing all day. And so, when I go to work, then he doesn't really like it. So there are times where I come home and he's perfectly fine, and then there are times where I've come home and he's torn something up. And he doesn't tear anything up when I'm at home. It's just when I'm gone, and it's just, the separation anxiety. So I've been saying, I want to get another pet. It could be a cat, a dog, something, so that he has that comfort. Because Bo tends to be, he craves comfort a lot of times. He craves comfort in a different way. Like, he doesn't like to be picked up. He wants you to love him while he's on the ground. So he wants you to, like, scratch his ears, his back, his belly, all that stuff, but leave him on the ground. Do not pick him up. So, I love him in the way that he likes. But, so I'd been saying for a while, I'm like, I think I'm probably going to try to see if I can, get another pet. One day I'm coming home from work. I am riding my little moped, and I see this little baby. This was November 23rd. So I see this little baby, and she's trying to drink water from a puddle. And of course, rainwater is dirty water anyway, but it hadn't rained here in well over a month. So I don't even know where that water came from. So I pull over, and she instantly came to me. I just like, come here, little girl. And she came over, and because, I think she just knew that she would be safe with me. So she came over. It was not a struggle to get her. I scooped her up, and I had on a jacket. So I just put her inside my jacket, and I zipped it up, and then hopped on the moped, and we rode on home. And on the way up in the elevator, because I live on the 8th floor, I was kind of nervous because I wasn't sure how Bo would react. Because Bo is very needy of attention sometimes. If I'm focusing too much on something, like I could be knitting something, or I could be on my computer, and he sometimes will just come and get in my lap because he doesn't think I'm paying enough attention to him, right? So, and then there have been times where I've been out walking him, and I've run into someone I know, and we're having a conversation. So he'll get up on his hind legs, and he'll do this to me to put the attention back on himself so that I can love on him, because he does not want me to pay too much attention to anything else. So I was kind of nervous. So I get in the door. He always greets me, when I come home. As soon as I stick the key in, he's like right there waiting for me. And as soon as I opened the door, he knew something was up. Because he gave me a look. He was like, "You're not alone." He obviously smelled her. So he had backed up a bit. And I had to go over to him, and I kneeled down, and she was still inside of my jacket. So I'm leaning over, I'm like, look at the baby. And he barked in her face and ran away. And I was like, oh, okay. Not sure how this is going to work. But thankfully that was a one-off, because I took her to one of my spare bedrooms, and I made up a little makeshift bed for her. I had a blanket and some sheets, and I fluffed them all up, and I laid her down. And then Bo came in, and then he started sniffing her and instantly fell in love. He tried to get her to play right away, but of course she was skittish, because she was out in the world, and she's scrounging for food, and then all of a sudden she meets a complete stranger, and she's ridden away to a strange place with a dog that had just barked in her face like 5 seconds ago. So she was very skittish and standoffish. So I separated Bo. And just left her in the room and closed the door so that she could have some time to adjust. And I went to get her some food. Thankfully, I had this bag of dog food left over. At that point, it was like 6 weeks old, but it was still fresh because it was all sealed and closed, because 6 weeks prior I had gone out of town for a holiday. And when I go out of town, obviously Bo needs to be boarded. So I board him with the vet, and they feed him dog food. And I had been meaning to throw it away, because when Bo's at home, he doesn't eat dog food. I will usually cook him something, or I'll order something, like some pork or some lamb, beef, and some vegetables. He loves broccoli. He loves it. Not too fond of carrot. He loves broccoli and green beans, and he'll do cauliflower, but he won't eat it twice in a row. He's weird like that. No joke. He'll eat broccoli twice in a row, but not cauliflower. He'll eat around the cauliflower if it's on the second day. I don't know why. He's just weird. Um, anyway, so I had the dog food and I put it in a little bowl and I got a dish of water for her and she devoured the water and she sniffed the dog food but she wouldn't eat it. And at first I was thinking because maybe it's hard, she's not accustomed to it, I don't know. But I went back into my kitchen and I cooked up some bacon and she scarfed down the bacon. I'm like, all right, she's eating, yes. So then I remembered with Bo when he first started eating dog food, solid food, we had to soak it in water to get it really soft for him. And so that's what I started doing, and she devoured it that way. So I gave her the food and water, and I would introduce her and Bo in, small little segments because he wanted to play, and, he thought it was going to be like an instantaneous thing, and she was like, no, not here for it. So, just give him like 30 minutes here and there, and then separate them again. So the next day was Saturday. And I took her to the vet because I knew once I brought her home, she wasn't going anywhere else. She was going to be my baby and Bo's sister. She was going to be with us. But I knew I had to get her to the vet to make sure that she had, all of her vaccinations and she's healthy and all that good stuff. And I knew that there's something wrong with her back legs. I knew that immediately when I saw her because the way that she was kind of hunched over, her bottom was hunched under, if I'm explaining that correctly. And it's because her legs are not, her legs don't extend. So if you imagine, on a human, they would be the knees. I don't know if dogs have knees. I know it's the patella, but I don't know if we would call it a knee for a dog in the back. So anyway, they don't face forward. They turn out like this. And they don't extend unless you extend them. But I don't think she was hit by a car or anything. I think it was just how she was born because she's not in any pain. She walks, she runs, she jumps with no problem. The vet was able to, maneuver her legs around and she wasn't in any pain. So, it's just the way that she was born. So as soon as we finish all of her vaccinations, then she's going to have the surgery and she'll be perfectly fine. And so she's sleeping right now, but she and Bo are like this, and honestly their relationship hurts my feelings just a little bit because Bo does not care about me that much anymore. It is all Sophie all the time. Oh, I think it's the first time I told you guys her name. Yeah, her name is Sophie. So it is all Sophie all the time. He is not thinking about mama that much anymore. Usually I would say, Bo, come to mommy, and he would come right over. And now I say, Bo, come to mommy, and if he's with Sophie, he does this. And then goes back to Sophie. And I'm like, after everything we've been through, Bo, you would just leave me like that? I don't want to talk about it. So anyway, and they play all the time. Sometimes I have to separate them because sometimes it's bedtime and I'm ready to go to sleep, but you just hear them roughhousing and going at it. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop it. But Bo made her love him. It's like if you think of dream girls, Bo was Effie and she's Curtis, and he was like, look, I'm telling you, I'm not going. You are gonna love me. And she does. And the vet estimates that she's about 10 weeks old. So, obviously she needs a lot of sleep. And there are times when she's trying to sleep and Bo just wants to play. And so he goes and wakes her up. So I have to take her in the room and I shut the door so she can get her sleep. And then when she wakes up, she paws at the door. So I know she's ready to come out. And then as soon as she comes out, it's playtime. So let me see if I can get her. Come here, Soph. Sophie, come to mama. Come on, little girl. Oh, there she is. Oh, this is my little Sophie. Sophie loves to do this. She loves to snuggle into my neck like this, and she will fall asleep if you let her. Come on, Soph, let's turn around. Let's look at the people. Look at her. Isn't she cute? She's so precious. Obviously, she looks like she's got a lot of German Shepherd in her. I'm sure she's not a purebred. She's most likely mixed with something. But this is what I was telling you guys about her back legs. See, they look like this. I don't know if you can really see that they're turned outward. All right, little girl. Oh, and see, there's Bo. It's like, what are you doing with my sister? So anyway, she loves to be loved like this. So I love her in the way that she likes. Just like I love Bo in the way that he likes. And so those are my two adoption stories. Well, really they're rescue stories because both of them were rescued from the street. And both of them have my love. They're not going anywhere. So whenever I leave China, they are leaving with me. Obviously it's going to prove a bit difficult because you're only allowed to take one pet per hey, Bo. See, now that's one thing. Bo is still, like, if I give too much attention to something else, he's on the spot because he wants his attention too. But yeah, so leaving China, you can only have like one pet per passport. But that's really an obstacle that you can get around if you have the cash. You just pay a service and they will, you know, take your pet out for you. And they'll deliver them. Well, the service that I'm going to use will deliver them to, you know, the address that I want them to go to. But I bet I can get it cheaper if I just meet them at the airport. All right. Here you go, bud. You want to love on your sister. So, yeah, we are one big happy family, and I'm super happy with the life that we have. I highly recommend, if you can, to rescue an animal, and even if you can't keep them, then to take them to this shelter, and, you know, they'll get them better and find them a home. If you can, donate what money you have. Donate what you can to help little lives like these. Thank you guys for watching my story. Bye.